Wow, talk about a plot twist. Just when our protagonist laid out ambitious plans for expansion, rights, laws, and even schools, bam! Nature throws a massive curveball with that terrifying flood warning. The deduction about the downstream blockage was brilliant, but seeing those plans sidelined for an emergency expedition? Intense. The journey downstream felt so real. The eerie fog, the unsettling sight of drowned animals. You could almost feel the chill. And then rescuing that poor woman, only to stumble upon that horrifying child sacrifice ritual. My blood ran cold. That ending. Forget the blockage for a second. Are they going to save those kids? What kind of confrontation is about to explode on that shore? This chapter went from strategic planning to desperate survival and raw fury in a heartbeat. I absolutely have to know what happens next. Hearing the leaders shout, "If we can't save them, nobody eats." The starving crowd got an instant shot of adrenaline and paddled desperately towards the spot where the children had fallen in. Compassion? What was that? Could you eat it? Their next meal was what mattered. The flagship you personally commanded surged far ahead, cutting through the waves. The little girl clutching your trouser leg watched wide-eyed as two children from her tribe were thrown into the cold water just like she had been. She was frantic, almost crying, shaking your pants while pointing at the small heads bobbing in the water, wailing loudly. She knew you couldn't understand her, but seeing you, directing everyone to rush over and save them, she quieted down slightly. Still, her small hand gripped you tightly, her lip bitten in fear that they might be too late. Just as your water rescue team sped forward, the group of culprits on the high cliff were collectively stunned. They stared wide-eyed at the vast fleet of boats on the water, looking as though they'd seen a ghost in broad daylight. What in the world is that? Looks like people. But how can people float on water? Shaman, the fellow who had just thrown the children in, asked the old man presiding over the ritual, his voice trembling. What is that? Has the river god come to collect the offerings? In his mind, the shaman knew the heavens above and the earth below, and could even chat with the gods. If there was something he didn't understand, asking the shaman was always right. Unfortunately, this time the shaman was stumped too. The old man stared at the water's surface, equally shocked. Those people were riding miraculous contraptions that could travel on water, with things paddling on both sides as numerous and unsettling as centipede legs. Those who could command such things were surely no ordinary mortals. But what did they?